There is a door we all come to, one that protects the facts and truths that hold our reality together from that which floats beyond reason and sanity. Once we walk through that door, nothing is ever the same. We can become lost in the abyss of man's imagination, wandering down the long hall into the kind of madness that is dangerously pervasive. Infected with a delirium most foul and contagious until we are all unable to navigate our way back to what is real. It is here where we find absurd conspiracies. Space, infinite in size and scope. In fact, it's hard for most people to imagine that space goes on forever, in every direction from our planet. That there's no end to it. And if there was, what would that look like? And then what is beyond that? These questions are some of the hardest for the human mind to wrap itself around in the dark of your room before bed. And there's a good reason for that. Because as humans, we live a limited amount of time, and it is a hard pill to swallow in the face of the forever universe. Some people believe that neither of those things are true. They believe that we live much longer than we know, and that space is not what we believe it to be. Following what's known as the comparative reality materials hypothesis, first made popular by Professor Andre Hampton of the Hampton University of Metaphysics in Calais, France, in the late 1980s. It states that since nothing existed before the Big Bang and everything is made from that material, no one thing can be older or exist longer than any other thing in the universe. And in his later work, The Materials Obscura, in 1993, he added to this notion the idea that space, or the universe, is completely unknown to us because of our limited abilities to perceive something that we cannot imagine. And it is here that modern theorists of this concept find their beliefs in an unknown space and endless human life.
Well, to understand that which has no allegory is impossible. Do you understand? If you cannot conceive of it, then you cannot perceive it. This is well known, even if it is not understood. Our surroundings lie to us. We believe that all we see in the world are constants in space, yet nothing is a constant. There are no consistencies except for our inability to perceive our surroundings. You cannot, by definition, understand that which is ununderstandable. What is the real irony is that since we cannot even perceive our surroundings, even our base beliefs is completely flawed.
Followers of Professor Hampton's hypothesis contend that it is our flawed perceptions that have convinced us that we live and then die. And to that end, they offer the exchange of matter from one form to another as proof that his theories are correct, known as the law of conservation of mass, which states that matter cannot be destroyed, it can only be transformed from one form to another, meaning the total amount of matter in a closed system remains constant regardless of any physical or chemical changes that occur.
So nothing ever dies per se. It transforms and continues. And so do we. The law of conservation of mass supports the Hampton's work in his comparative reality materials hypothesis. However, the material obscure theory has really been stolen and used to explain the lack of recognizable matter as equal to the gravity in the known universe. Of course, his idea here is that we could not be able to see that matter anyhow because we have no common frame of reference to what the universe truly is. Or he's fucking nuts, you pick him. Truthfully, he could be right and fucking crazy.
So then, according to these theories, what is in space? What is it made up of? And what is its purpose? are all unknown, and if these believers are to be believed, it is also unknowable.
Well, it could be bicycles or flamingos or happy floating pudgy women in G-string. It could be anything. Or it could be a neutral medium where these planets and stars and black holes and other celestial objects are grown like bacteria or spores or cells. And the life or material on these objects are just more of the same in an endless cycle of replication down to the microscopic level and beyond that into which is infinite, which could reside in the infinitesimal. But I hope it's those chubby girls on G-strings. This would be much better, for me. I like them big.
Could they be right? Is the fabric of the universe really made up of voluptuous women in thongs? Many undateable late 20s man boys that still live at home and play Call of Duty all night say yes. And still others offer that the last of the Hampton's great work, which he wrote before his incarceration for stalking large women in Minsk in 2004, suggest that if the universe is unknowable, that perhaps it's because we have yet to decide on what it really is. We may have the ability to simply make the universe whatever we want it to be. He suggests this in his Continuum of Personal Realities hypothesis. If we are made of the same matter as space, and no matter ever dies, then the only reason that we cannot understand the universe is because we see it as something separate from us, and we have no effect on it, when it could be that since it is us and we are it, then whatever we choose, it will be.
Yes, our inability to perceive could be due to this notion that we are a thing and that everything else is some other thing, when really everything is everything. We are all same material. Or in the words of one of my followers before his death, I am you, we are we, and I am the Eggman, I am the walrus, cuckoo. I got to go. It is Jello Day. I love the way it jiggles like big girl. I like them big.
So when asked where people go when they think they die, believers offer this. We could not see germs once. We could not see the mountains of Mars once, until we made the right tools and had conceived of a way to make these tools. We did not know they were ever there. They say that every discovery starts with an insane idea that something unseen or unknown could really be. And they say that all we have to do is to have the will to accept it, and then we will see it all for the first time as it really is.